We spent over $100,000 building our dream home on wheels and have been living in it for the past 30 days, testing it out. Now the real question is, was it all really worth it?
From our adventure in Everglades National Park to 2 unexpected trips to the Mercedes dealer, this first month has tested us in ways we never expected. So we're gonna spend some time with you, have a nice campfire chat, and discuss what went well, what went wrong, and would we do it again?
We're sharing the honest and unfiltered truth.
Ollie spotted the deer, 3 of them right over there. I've always liked hearing the worst news first, so let's start with the worst things about our van build and how it all turned out. At the end of the day, we were over budget, over time, and overweight. Water's so clear.
It is very clear.
Must be spring driven. Go ahead. We were trying to spend under $100,000 on our van build, and with our van itself costing $72,000 and it was used, that left us $28,000 for the build. And unfortunately we spent over that. Now towards the end of the van build, we had this recurring question to ourselves: do we spend more money on an easy part or some other workaround, or do we spend time and kind of do it a different way? And frequently, because of how long the build was taking, we decided to spend more money. Now the build took 7 months, and that was pretty much full-time work. There was not a lot of breaks in there, and it was different work. The first few months were a lot of computer work and understanding and sort of learning, and the last few months was still a lot of learning, but a lot more doing. Well, it's like leaking through the floor. All of these connections are all leaking. It was about double what we expected for it to take. And finally, the van build at the end of the day is overweight. We did try to keep weight down to a minimum, and we got it weighed earlier on the van build to kind of just get a basis of it, and we knew it was gonna be close, but we got it weighed, and oh, there's a deer right over there. But we got it weighed one last time, and we were 200 pounds overweight. And if you're not familiar with how weight works in a vehicle, basically every vehicle has a gross weight tonnage that you can have on the chassis, and ours is about 9,000 pounds. And that includes everything: fuel, the van, humans, our build out, Ollie. And so basically we had to downsize. We took out our exercise weights, and we took out a lot of stuff to bring it closer to gross weight, and now we just use a little bit less water whenever we're full fuel.
The van build really tested us, and it was much bigger of a project than we originally thought, but that doesn't mean that all is bad. There's quite a bit of good. So let's get to the good stuff. Many of the things that we invested our money into this van that were our big ticket items that did cause us to go over budget were our electrical system or different features that made this vehicle very off-grid friendly. So for example, our first month on the road, we didn't plug in once because we didn't need it, and that was intentional. We ran our AC, we ran our oven, our induction cooktop, but thanks to how we built the van, power really wasn't a problem for us. We absolutely love our full kitchen. We love our giant bed. We love the AC and how that means that we can keep Ollie in the van very climate controlled and comfortable while we're away. So there are things in this van that we did splurge on, but overall though, we're very happy with those splurges. Next, let's whip up some dinner and enjoy a campfire before we discuss, would we do this all again?
All right, now was it worth it? Would we do it again? What are our final thoughts on building a 6-figure vehicle to live in? Speechless. Probably at the 6-figure, to be honest.
Yeah, in all honesty, I don't think at this particular time, at this moment, 30 days into having lived in the van full time, whether or not we can confidently say the price tag was worth it. I think that after a year and seeing all the different situations that we're going to run into, if that will help determine whether or not it was worth it. But at this particular moment, it's like, oh my gosh.
A lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of sweat equity just went into the van build. So if you count the time that we spent on it for 7 months, you know, that's worth quite a bit. So I think when or if we ever sell the van, you know, I don't think we're going to be recuperating all of that. And that's kind of what we try to do with anything that we buy.
We are well aware that vehicles, vans, RVs are a depreciating asset and that we would probably not be getting our full money back on this investment. However, we also knew that this is going to be our full-time home for 2+ years. So we knew we wanted to be comfortable and have some nice to have amenities that would just make those 2 years much more enjoyable and comfortable.
We will be doing a 1 year later video, so make sure you're subscribed to see how this all works out a year down the road. And I'm not sure if we would ever do another van build. It's too fresh. It's too the wound is too is too recent.
Yeah.
But honestly, you know, I never expected to do a van build. If you asked me a few years ago, never expected to do the Great Loop. You know, never expected to be living this type of life. So honestly, you never know.
I will say that it was a lot harder. If there are other options, I think for us it came down to the quality of the van, the newness in terms of low mileage that we wanted in a van, and then wanting the customization of space and layout, as well as the off-grid capabilities. In order to get all of those things, the best option for us was to build a van ourselves.
Exactly.
Because asking all of the things that we wanted, all of our like desirables, was way too expensive if we were to hire a builder to professionally build it out, and for us not to build it.
Yeah,
so,
we could have easily spent double.
Exactly. So there is that. However, could we have made do in a cheaper van that had higher mileage and all the things that come with it? Of course. There's trade-offs in any situation and with any choice.
For our next video, we are going to be exploring another national park as we explore every national park in the US. If you wanted to see the van itself or how we built it, we have a ton of videos on that on our channel, so check that out. Tomorrow, actually today, we are leaving Florida for the first time in 25 months traveling, and we'll be coming back for quite a long time. So make sure you stay tuned for that. We're gonna be visiting another national park, and we're super excited to continue the journey, seeing every state, every national park, and all the provinces up in Canada. So it's gonna be a wild ride, and we're gonna take you along for every step of the journey.
If you have any local recommendations for us, we have a form in the description below that we would love to have your personal recommendations for either restaurants, things to do, best hikes, anything like that. We would love to have it. So if you have any questions about our van or our upcoming trip, let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it.